Brothers on the line.
That looks like that's number 96, Shaggy.
And there we have the whistle for the start.
Oh, nice work there right at the beginning by Pit Bulldozer, getting in front of the Chicago Jammer. But
Ragnarok out, but no lead.
So that means Shaggy still has the opportunity to earn lead jam status here. Oh, was called lead, but was recycled. Calls off the jam.
Shaggy calling off right before Ragnar can score any points. It looks like we'll have Akira on the line for the Bruise Brothers. Zora, number 12 for the Undead. Akira hits that pack hard as Zora skips up the inside.
And it looks like we've got Akira jamming for the Bruise Brothers. Akira going one-on-one with Mike Concho. Mike Concho takes Akira off his feet, but also Mike Concho goes off his feet. And we also have a penalty on Akira. So jammer to the penalty box. This is going to be a power jam for Zora.
Big hit by Psychic Destroy on Zora. Adam is the only blocker left for Zora to get through. Nice one-on-one work by... Ooh, nice handstand by Zora. Picking up lead for the Undead. Chicago's lost their jammer and two blockers to the box.
Yeah, nice advantage for Zora here on this, what was a power jam, only having to contend with two of the Bruise Brothers.
Zora on second pass is able to split through the Chicago blockers who've yet to, only two on the track. Now they're joined by the third blocker.
Zora very wisely feeling the heat. Akira coming up, taps those hips, calls it off. Kicks up 9 points in this jam for the Undead, while Akira throws a point on the board for the Bruise Brothers, just establishing that they are here and they have scored.
Undead holding a 9-1 lead, 27 seconds left, third jam, 27 minutes left in the first half. We have Record on the line for the Undead.
And is that number 15 Smackaroni wearing the star for the Bruise Brothers? I'm a Smackaroni fan, and look at that. Front of the pack, lead jammer.
Nice work by Twinkle Beef on Record.
Yeah, Twinkle Beef doing a fantastic job slowing down Omrecker, but Omrecker able to make that last pass, 1 foot over the Bruise Brothers blockers, gets out of the pack. Smack on that scoring pass, decides to call it off because Omi is coming up and coming up quick.
Smackaroni picking up 2 points for Chicago.
So if that first game is any indicator of what this weekend is going to be like, we're going to see lots of back and forth lead changes, maybe a quick 10-point lead, and then switching it around, and it changes to the other team for another 5-point lead. It's going to be crazy.
Ben Hurd jamming for the Chicago Brood Brother up on the outside line with lead for Chicago.
And one of the newest members of the Undead, number 277, Bugsy. Bugsy recently graduating from Junior Roller Derby.
Oh. Ben Hurd picking up 1 point, calling it off as the Undead jammer was quickly gaining into the pack there.
So just a reminder to any fans and skaters that are here, please be mindful of the ref lane. This gray line on the very outside, make sure you stay behind that. There's not, Signs all along. Warning, please remain behind this line. We want everybody to be safe.
Shaggy getting knocked out by Adam. Midwest as Ragnarocker jamming for the Bruise brothers. Gets lead. Another lead by Chicago.
Oh, but nice work there by Jackson. Completely opens up the inside of that pack for Shaggy. Shaggy out there hitting the pack, ready to score some points. Picks up one before Ragna calls it off. 4-1 jam there. Undead still in the lead. Just a slight lead, only 2 points.
We have Akira back on the line for the Bruise brothers versus Zora for the Undead. Nobody in the box for either team. Chicago in the dark blue, the Undead in white and red.
Look at that. Zora sideways on that outside, picks up lead jam in that blink of an eye.
Have to take go all the way to the line. They'll tiptoe right up that line.
Is that Akira jamming there for the Bruise brothers, Bill?
Akira out of the pack after beating the last Undead blocker, who was Hebrew.
Zora being tossed to the infield, sees that Akira's coming up quickly and calls off the jam.
The Undead will be starting with a blocker in the penalty box. Looks like we'll have Homewrecker on the line versus Ben Hurt. That is...
Smackaroni? I think that's Smackaroni.
15, I think. Smackaroni. I think that's Smackaroni, not Ben Hurt.
Homewrecker. Oh, nice work. Almost around number 88 up and Adam. Is able to reset quickly. Oh, another big hit by Up and Adam. Takes Homewrecker off the track. Omi has to enter behind the furthest most blocker, so loses quite a bit of track position. But Smackaroni being worked by Dragon Body. Oh gosh, Dragon Body, Nemesis, and Jackson. I don't want to be Smackaroni.
Smackaroni's getting smacked back there.
Oh, but Smackaroni sees that there's just a bit of daylight. Pippledoes are not able to close that hole, and Smackaroni out of the pack with lead jam.
Homewrecker, only one blocker left, but then he's joined by Adam up front.
Homewrecker able to complete his initial pass.
Smackaroni trying to pick up all the points.
But Smackaroni is in some trouble there with that four-wall of Undead. Is able to pick up 3 points and calls it off.
That's Bugsy jamming for the Undead.
That sure is.
You said he aged up from juniors, huh?
Yep.
He was moving pretty fast out there on the track.
He has youth on his side. All his joints still work.
And we have Ben Hurt jamming for the Bruise brothers and out quickly getting lead for Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, Bugsy picks up a track cut. Nice work by Impale Ale up front. We have a power jam there for Ben Hurt.
Oh, but Hebrew going one-on-one. Hebrew is one of those underrated blockers. Is always in the way, annoying the crap out of jammers, making their lives hard.
Chicago going with a delayed offense allows Ben Hurt to get recycled all the way to the back.
Honcho dragging him as far back as possible, trying to do a little bit of a penalty kill here, trying to get Bugsy freed from that penalty box. Again, nice work there by the Undead Horde. Bugsy freed, now back out on that track. Hearing a no pack call.
Nice little jump on the inside line by Bugsy. Chicago manages to recycle to the front, though, and take Bugsy out on the inside as Ben Hurt is through for 4 hard-fought points for Chicago.
And Chicago's able to now take the lead. We've got a 5-point lead by the Bruise brothers.
As Ben Hurt picks up a back block and goes to the box. Now Bugsy with the power jam. Ooh, nice work up front. Recycling all the way to the back.
And the Undead with the track advantage. All 4 Undead blockers while there's only 3 Chicago Bruise brothers on the track.
Ooh, directional. Directional box, trying for some offense. Shenanigans is really doing a number on Bugsy up front. Bugsy does manage to pick up 4 points, though. Ben Hurt standing in the penalty box, so we have a power jam start for Ohm Wrecker. Or is that Shaggy? It might be Shaggy.
That's Shaggy.
Okay.
Omi and Shaggy do
Look a lot
alike. Recently, Omi kind of cut his hair, so they look a little bit different now, but still. And look at that, Shaggy shot out it like a bullet on that outside lane. Is your lead jammer for the Undead.
Nice offensive work there by the Chicago Bruise brothers to get Ben Hurt out of the pack. But Shaggy with lead, picking up all 4 points. As MPL picks up a low block there on Shaggy. Unfortunately, the referee was calling the low block and didn't call off the jam, which allowed Chicago to pick up 4 points as well.
And
Chicago holding a 23-18 lead.
Yep, I was just going to say a 5-point difference there. I was trying to do the math quickly. I talk good, I don't math good.
We have Ragnarok on the line for Chicago and Zora on the line for Pittsburgh.
Hey, and I know we jumped in this really quickly. I always forget to introduce myself. I'm Pinky Donchadero, and I'm here with my good friend Wrecking Bill. Bill coming all the way to us from St. Louis.
It was a nice ride, although my head looks like the balloon from It. That's what you get for riding in a convertible in the sun.
We need to go down to the Target and get some sunblock. Even though it's going to be a cloudy weekend here in Pittsburgh, still, that's when you get the worst sunburn.
It is. All right, so now with the update on the scores, Chicago 23, Pittsburgh 22, 18 minutes, a little under 18 minutes left here in the first half. The referees discussing something. Have they? Oh.
Okay, so this appears to be an official review. I see captains and coaches out there talking to crew head ref Scully.
And it looks like they're ready to start. Everything is figured out. Everybody's happy. Chicago starting with 1 blocker in the box again. Ragnarok on the line with Zora for the Undead.
Shout out here on the Twitch feed for you, Bill. And great job announcing it, sibling rivalry. What a weekend that was.
That was a long weekend.
Oh, and this pack is at a crawl. Zora trying to make herself invisible, gets cycled back into the pack, and Ragnarok is out first, is your lead jammer for the Bruise brothers.
Zora takes a hit from Adam, up and Adam, but manages to get out of the pack as Ragnarok trying to pick up some points. Call it. Managing 1 point is Ragnarok. but he did clear the penalty box as well, so that was a successful jam. Looks like we'll have Akira on the line for the Bruise brothers and Ohm Wrecker for the Undead. Nobody in the penalty box for either team. Chicago holding a slim 24-22 lead. Chicago in blue, the Undead in white. Nice slow start for both teams.
Both jammers trying to find their preferred method. One-on-one there with Todd. Akira able to bounce right off of Todd, and is your lead jammer for the Bruise brothers. Ooh, coming in hot, Akira bouncing off of Jackson and quickly calls it off as he can feel the heat of Ohm Wrecker.
Ohm Wrecker managed to pick up a point there as they tried to get the recycle to the back. Not noticing that jammer coming in, though.
Yeah, here we are again. A little bit of back and forth, only a small amount of points in between these two teams. Bugsy going up against Smackaroni. Bugsy getting pushed off the track to the outside, has to recycle back.
Smackaroni, one blocker left, gets through for lead for the Bruise brothers. And Shenanigans has really been the nemesis there for Bugsy. Oh. Yep. Smackaroni going to pick up a cup penalty there. A nice drawback there.
Oh, and this could be a big opportunity for the Undead. Oh, but number 556, Shenanigans, sending Bugsy flying, and also Bugsy picking up a cut track.
Mike Honcho did a nice job picking off the offense, but Bugsy came in at the front of the pack and cut two of the other blockers.
Bugsy going to the penalty box, freed Smackaroni. So Bugsy back out on the track as well. Again, being sent soaring by number 88, Up and Adam. Since both
nice apex jump there by Bugsy. One blocker left is Shenanigans, who takes out Bugsy again. Shenanigans really doing some nice one-on-one work.
And since both blockers went, or both jammers went to the penalty box, we have no lead jammer, so this will go to the expiration of the jam. 2 minutes is a very long time.
I think the size of the Chicago Bruise brothers is affecting Bugsy, and he needs to get used to going against players his size after aging up from juniors. And once he gets used to that, he's going to be a force for the Undead.
Absolutely.
So Smackaroni managed to pick up 7 points for the Bruise brothers as Bugsy was unable to get out of that pack. Chicago increasing their lead 34-23 with 13:45 left in the first half, as it looks like Chicago is calling a official review.
Yes, it is official review. So Rappel 18 says double cuts reminds me of last weekend in St. Louis. Hello, hello.
Do we have sponsors? No sponsors? Okay. No, but we could talk up Lloyd from Hit Squad TV.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he traveled all the way from St. Louis as well out here to.
Yeah, Hit Squad had a cross-country Get Me to Pittsburgh tour, which was pretty awesome, seeing him stop into different leagues and do film footage. Again, if you're ever at a tournament and Hit Squad's going to be there, be sure to purchase a highlight reel. Hit Squad will take fantastic care of you. We've got some amazing photographers today. We've got Wix Picks, and we've got Auntie Razzie. It looks like we've got a first-time chatter here from Quad Twitcher. Welcome to Pittsburgh Derby Skaters. Go Pittsburgh. A special shout-out to Don Juan, the Devastator, Cutthroat Callie, and OMG Becky of Lane County Concussions from the Valerina Skateland in North Apollo. Thanks for visiting last night. Impressive that you found that north of here. In the outskirts of not really Pittsburgh.
So it looks like the referees have made their decision on the official review. Unfortunately, we don't know what it is.
Seeing lots of animation. You know, things I need to learn for next tournament. I need to learn Spanish, and I need to learn sign language. Let's get the referees to, tell us what's going on in sign language, and then I need Spanish for our friends from Disorder and friends from Austin, and yeah.
Or we can give one of the referees a mic down there, and they could tell us what their decisions were.
You know, that's a great idea. We also thought about having a like a walkie-talkie,
Yeah,
but
work. Or they could come over and tell us. That would be the other thing.
We've had a couple of that. There's been a couple like skate over and giving us hand signals of what's going on.
That would be nice. But at this point,
Rowan
we'll just
Justice
wait and
is
see.
giving me hand signals, giving me thumbs down.
Well, that means they lost the official review.
Yes. So the details we don't have, but it did not go in their favor. So they've lost their official review for this half. Just like in other sports balls, if you challenge a call or request a call, if that comes in your favor, you retain your review and you can challenge again. If it is not in your favor, you lose that until the second half. Ooh. Scully putting the smack down, making sure that Chicago gets in that penalty box. So this is going to be a power start for Shaggy and the Undead. Shaggy pushing. Looks like Chicago being sent to the penalty box. Number 360, that's Grizz. And they're dropping like flies. Shaggy only has 2 blockers to get past, but it's Impale Ale and Twinkle Beef.
Smackaroni now out. Chicago managed to kill off most of that power jam, but Shaggy does get out with lead as Smackaroni now out of the box as Chicago sent 2 blockers to the penalty box on that jam. Ooh, nice hit by Impale Ale. Recycling Shaggy all the way to the back of the pack as Smackaroni also recycled to the back.
Yeah, that's while we were watching Shaggy being controlled by Impale Ale, Jackson and Dragon completely had Smackaroni under control and also threw him back to the back of the pack. Shaggy out of the pack, picks up 4 points.
Smackaroni's yet to get out of this pack, though. As Shaggy's on scoring drives, breaks through those arms of that tripod, but takes a big hit from Twinkle Beef and recycled all the way to the back of the pack.
Nice teamwork at the front of the pack there by Nemesis and Dragon. Dragon holding Smack while Nemesis chips away and takes Smackaroni off. Smackaroni having to recycle. Shaggy back at the front on his toe-stops, trying to push this wall out of play. Up and at him, keeping that bridge, keeping his blockers in play.
Dragon Body with some nice working back on Smackaroni, who's yet to get out of this pack.
Wow, that pack was stretched out, and everyone legally in play. We were, from turn 1, 2, 3. We've heard from 3 all the way back to 2. The entire pack stretched out.
Shaggy managed to pick up 8 points there for the Undead, closing in on that lead. Chicago holding a slim 34-31 lead with 11 minutes left in this first half. We have Zora on the line and another timeout. Zora on the line for the Undead, and that has been hurt for Chicago, and Zora for the Undead.
Both teams with a full contingent of
Zora
blockers.
trying that outside line again. They've been very successful, but this time Chicago managed to cut them off.
Nice recycling there by Dozer. Runs up to the front of the pack, catches Ben Hurt, but Ben Hurt able to bounce off, takes up lead jam status. Zora not far behind.
Chicago trying to pick off some blockers. Ben Hurt managed to pick up 2 points. 2 points, increasing the lead for Chicago. Calling it off. Now I have Ragnarocker out there for Chicago and Home Wrecker for the Undead. Nobody in the box for either team. Everybody backed up on that jammer line, not giving those jammers any room to work off the start.
No, that's just a cluster of bodies there.
Ragnarocker with a strong push up the center of the pack. Undead doing a nice job of bridging back, though, but Ragnarocker finally breaks through it. Shaggy, just shenanigans to deal with, but shenanigans with another drawback. Ooh, who's going to get the low block? Home Wrecker will get the low block on that one. Unfortunate. That's an unfortunate penalty, but it is a penalty.
Wow, what a difference this second game from our first game. We're sitting with under 9.5 minutes in the first half at 37-31. We were at 190 something in the last game, so
very defensive game.
Very defensive game.
Here. So we have a power jam start. Chicago sends out Akira for the power jam start. Mike Honcho going back to do some one-on-one blocking, but Akira manages to sidestep Honcho, and now just dealing with Dragon Body, and Pitbull Dozer, though, with a nice knockout, recycles Akira all the way to the back.
Akira coming up on this wall. Mike Honcho making one last ditch effort, shoves Akira into the infield. And
with a nice knockout up front. 2 blockers now for the Undead.
Dragon with hands in the air trying to say, hey, there was a cut track.
Akira picked up a track cut. His own record came onto the track.
Omi having to go one-on-one with Up and Adam and Swinkleby. Able to beat them. Makes that initial pass.
And he's going to pick up another track cut as he cut his own player and goes back to the box.
So this is a power jam for Ohm Wrecker. Ohm Wrecker having to contend with a
Psych and Destroy from Chicago.
And these Chicago blockers are leaving no opportunity or opening for the Undead. Dragon and Jackson giving some offense here for Ohm Wrecker. Oh, Omi doing everything he can to stay inbounds.
Impale Ale and Adam stepping out after the big hits. Now Akira back out of the box after the second penalty. Recycled to the back by Honcho and Dragon Body.
Undead again trying to stretch out this pack, keep in play.
Pick up 3 more points is the Undead, a 3-8 jam.
And the Undead creeping back up. Only 3-point difference now. 40 points for the Bruise brothers wearing blue with red accents. 37 for the Pittsburgh Undead wearing the white with bloody red accents.
Zora on that outside line again.
Oh no, we have a jammer change. We've got number 125, Smalls.
Yeah, Small snuck through. I was like, oh, wait, no, that's a different jammer. But the jammers from Undead finding success on that outside line. So we have Smackaroni with lead for Chicago.
Smart change up there by the Undead, putting out Smalls. And Smalls able to get those points and lead change for the Undead.
That was a nice jam by Smalls. It really was.
Absolutely. Smalls, using that distraction of size, being so much smaller in stature than the Chicago Bruise brothers, just kind of getting underneath each of them not knowing how to react to such a tiny skater.
And Chicago, be careful not to get high blocks on.
Absolutely. When you're barely 5 foot going up against someone who's 6'2".
Yeah. So we have Zora jamming for the Undead and Ben Hurt for the Bruise brothers. Zora trying to manage to get through Impale and Shenanigans, and does for lead for the Undead. Nice defensive work by the Undead on Ben Hurt.
Having Zora as a nice advantage now. Myrna letting there be dual charters for both WFTDA and MRDA teams. Picks up Zora in that rule change.
Oh, that offense from Shenanigans hits Ben Hurt out.
Zora watching, sees Ben Hurt, and calls off the jab.
That was some nice defense until Shenanigans decided to put a stop to that. So we have Ragnarocker on the line and Shaggy for the Undead. And Shaggy's got a little bit bigger beard than Omi does.
Yes.
As the Undead will start with a blocker in the penalty box. The pivot will be in the penalty box for the Undead. Undead now holding a 42-40 lead over the Bruise brothers. 4 minutes left here in the first half. In this defensive struggle for both teams.
Roving cameraman Nitro, working the crowd. Shake those cowbells. Start the wave. You know, I was in search of it. I couldn't find it. There's actually a wacky waver costume that you can wear. And I was going to buy that and wear it as an announcer.
I believe this is an official timeout. I don't know what the issue was, but it seems like they have everything worked out. And we'll get back to Derby with 4 minutes left in the first half. Ragnarocker and Shaggy. Again, Chicago holding a 4-3 blocker lead.
I don't know about you, Bill, but this first half has gone by really quickly.
Ragnarocker trying to power with getting some help from Shenanigans with some offense. Gets Ragnarocker out as Shaggy's back there, but the Undead did a nice job of dropping back and trying to get some offense for Shaggy.
Shaggy running right into Twinkle Beef.
Shenanigans and Twinkle Beef, that's a lot of pushing. Twinkle Beef with a nice knockout and recycle. As Ragnarok are also recycled to the inside. Twinklebeef with a big hit. Going to pick up a forearm penalty, though. As
Nice work
Ragnus. Go ahead.
Yeah, nice work there by Ragnarok. Being hit pretty heavily there, but stays on the toe stop, stances on that inside line.
Shenanigans got a big hit. Another big hit. Shenanigans and Adam really throwing the wood to these undead jammers.
Notes to self as the announcer's picking MVPs.
Unfortunately, those big hits, though, start taking their toll on jammers, but they also affect the blocking of the Bruise brothers, who start going for big hits instead of setting up their tripods.
Absolutely, and those big hits, what put you in penalty trouble?
Exactly.
And again, just remember, this is only game number 2. We have 4 more games today and then play again tomorrow.
So Ragnarok, we have a lead change. Chicago with an 8-point jam take the 48-42 lead with 2 minutes left here in the first half. Looks like we'll have Bugsy on the line versus Akira. Speed versus speed for both teams. Shenanigans out front, who's been the bane of Bugsy. Akira out with lead for the Bruise brothers.
Ooh, nice offensive work there by Mike Concho. Opens things up for Bugsy.
And Bugsy picking up a penalty as he had fallen, his upper body had fallen out of bounds. Ooh, beautiful spin move by Akira. Unfortunately, it's easier to see it from up here than down there.
So I'm protesting from the balcony. You know, hey, shout out to our referees. They're doing an awesome, hard job. That's a lot of bodies to watch out there.
Hebrew and Mike Concho doing a nice job of avoiding the offense from Chicago and getting a knockout and recycle on Akira. Akira calls it off, icing the jammer in the box. Bugsy managing to pick up 5 points was Akira, as Chicago now with a 54-42 lead. 30 seconds left in the first half, and we'll have Smackaroni on a power jam.
A power start here. Full contingent of both teams, but Smackaroni having that outside lane completely open, barely touched out of the pack is your lead jammer. Bugsy's been released from the penalty box, has to find a way around, trying to dip under, spin around, and stays in bounds, out of the pack.
Smackaroni through for 4 points, calling it off. And there we have the end of the first half, as Chicago picks up 4 more points, increasing their lead 58-42. We have a tight defensive game here.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I've seen Chicago take on the Undead earlier this year and the last year, and this is a very different game than the last one that I saw. So Chicago definitely has a very tight defensive game that's just trapping these jammers and letting their jammers free. So they've got a bit of an advantage right now.
Pittsburgh has put in a lot of practice, too, with their defense. Their defense has been solid, and they do a really good job of getting back together and setting up that tripod, which is putting a lot of work for the Chicago Bruise Brothers Jammers to get through the packs. So we have 9 minutes left in the first half. Come back, join us for the second half. Chicago Bruise Brothers versus the Pittsburgh Undead.
Don't forget, here on this balcony, we've got merch for several of our teams. I believe that we've got Carolina, we've got Disorder. Definitely have Undead merch. Don't forget to visit the Pizza Cafe, food and beverages, and we'll see you back here shortly.
Oh, hello.
Just a quick reminder to our officials, our refs, our NSOs, and our volunteers. We have a lovely green room up here on the balcony that feel free to visit for beverages and snacks and all the good stuff. We are just a little over a minute left in this intermission. Get into the second half of this game. Chicago Bruise Brothers in the lead at 58. Undead at 42. Wrecking Bill and I were up here theorizing. We have our thoughts and opinions on what should occur, but we're just the announcers. We're not the coaches.
What was the penalties? Did we have that?
Oh, yes. So we're going to take a quick look here at the penalties. So we no one's really in heavy penalty trouble. We've got, 2s and 3s here. Bit of cut tracks, forearms. Looks like we've got a couple direction of game plays.
Oh, you got to do that. Now, it looks like Chicago has 2 players with 3 penalties and only 1 player for the Undead with 3. So that looks like the extent of our penalties is 3.
Yep.
Chicago will start off with Ragnarocker. Start off this half, Shaggy for the Undead. Nobody in the box for either team, so we'll keep an eye on those penalties to see if that has any effect on the game with people fouling out.
So if this is your first time watching roller derby, each half is 30 minutes. So we are ready to start a second 30-minute period here. And this first jam is starting off at a snail's pace. Now, you do have to be moving for it to be a legal block. So these skaters, while it seems like they're not going anywhere, they're just slightly moving those feet to keep it in play.
Nice knockout by Dragon Body on Ragnarocker as Shaggy finally powers through, gets lead for the Undead. Ragnarocker a half a lap behind.
Oh, Shaggy bouncing off of number 88 up and Adam. Flies into the infield and calls it off.
The Undead did a nice job trapping blockers in the back, playing some offense for their jammer, managing to pick up 3 points.
Oh, we got to shout out that we're doing a great job. Yes.
Zora on the line for the Undead and Akira for the Bruise Brothers. Again, nobody in the box for either team. Chicago backs up their defense, but Mike Honcho, 2 jams in a row, has done a really nice job of breaking up that tripod of the Undead. Shenanigans gets the recycle on Zora as Akira breaks through for lead for the Bruise Brothers. Zora with sitting behind Impale Ale. Akira breaks through for 4 more points for the Bruise Brothers. As Zora is yet to get out of this pack. But
Zora almost finding that opening, but gets passed to the infield. Back on the track quickly, but still in this initial pass.
Shenanigans managed to recycle Zora to the back as Akira breaks through for 4 more points. A big jam for Akira, already picked up 12 points. As Zora hands it off to Mike Honcho. Honcho tries to power through the strength of Psych and Destroy. And now Shenanigans.
Definitely some slick
Honcho
going on that
finally
track there.
gets through that Shenanigans block up front.
Honcho officially taking the star, places it upon his head, and the jam is called off by Akira. Big jam there for Chicago. Fools pretty far ahead, 22 points, but we are just at the beginning of the second half. Again, roller derby, everything changes quickly.
There we go.
There we go. We got another change there. So 69. We're at 69.
I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. I know he went through 3 times. Come on.
All right, Smackaroni wearing the star again, up against Ohmwrecker. Omi looking for a little bit of offensive help there by Tot. Tot opening that inside lane. Omi, oh no, being called on a cut track.
That's the one thing bad. Walking on your toe stops, you can step over that line and not actually feel it.
Medic.
Fortunately, Nemesis is able to get up on his own, skate off the track on his own power.
Now, since that jam was called off for injury, Nemesis will have to sit for 3 jams before he can return to play.
So the referees are discussing the hit. I did not actually see the hit, but I did see that a penalty was called on the person that delivered the hit who went to the box, as now Chicago has 2 blockers in the box along with the jammer for the Undead. Chicago holding a 69-44 lead with 26 minutes left in the first half.
We're in the second half, Bill.
Sorry.
No, I feel that. I feel that. Like, that first half was so quick that I feel like we should still be in it. But we are rolling here. This is our second game of the day. So if you have not yet got yourself together, get yourself together and get on out here to Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena at 2 o'clock. We will see Lane County Concussion from Oregon taking on the Carolina Wrecking Balls.
So we have a power jam start for Chicago. They said that Ben hurt, but Undead have all their blockers on the track. Mike Concho goes back to try to play some one-on-one. We used to call this a shark in the old days. Ben Hurt.
Nice work there by Ben Hurt. Steps over a little hop over Dragon Body. Picks up lead jam. Undead trying to do a little bit of a penalty kill here. Slow up Ben Hurt. Give Ohmwrecker time to get back out on the track.
Shenanigans. Not Ben Hurt not getting any offensive, very little offensive help. Now Ohmwrecker out of the box. Mike Honcho playing some nice offense on Shenanigans. Keep him to do the complete recycle.
Oh, nice spin move there from Ohmwrecker off of number 22, Impale L. Gets out of the pack, but
and again, a penalty call is being made, and the referees are not getting the call off. That was called off way before Ohmwrecker was even near the pack, so...
yeah, Chicago Bruise Brothers a little bit upset there because Ben was tapping his hips and there was quite a bit of a delay before the actual call-off took place. With Shaggy running up here quickly on the inside is your lead jammer.
Ragnarocker through the pack, hot on his tail. As Shaggy powered through those big Chicago blockers. And again, they do a nice job of trapping Twinklebeak in the back.
Undead trying to run that fast making Chicago go quicker than they actually would like to and maybe seem comfortable with. And Shaggy gets that pack fast, hits the wall, calls it off.
Chicago holding a 77-49 lead, 24 minutes left. Chicago in blue, the Undead in white. They'll send out Zora on the track for the Undead and Akira for the Bruise brothers. Nobody in the box for either team. Started this jam. Chicago backing, both teams backing up all the way to that jammer line, not giving these jammers any room to work.
Next whistle starts the jam. Okay, and we're seeing the NSOs. Looks like maybe there is
difficulties.
Yeah, it looks like the score table is asking to call it off, to hang on, that there's some question about something.
Boy, getting all kinds of footage this weekend, isn't it? All kinds of big hits going on out there.
Hey, and a big thank you to Nitro and Melissa and Ashley and all our friends helping work the camera, get this live stream out there to the world. We appreciate you.
We have another call off from the score table, trying to get things right. We respect the fact that they want to get everything correct.
There's a scoreboard issue. Thank you. We appreciate you, Roman Justice.
Everybody doing everything in their power to make sure that all the information we deliver to you is correct and that you see on your screens. So let's go to the penalties again. Looks like only one player with 5 penalties for the Bruise brothers.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
Captain
else.
Inhale L. Looks like starting to get in a little bit of penalty trouble.
All right, we have it all straightened out. Now, the score is now Chicago 76 and the Undead 49. 24 minutes left in the second half. We have Akira on the line and Zora. Nobody in the box for either.
Nice work there by Paul Barrier, shutting down that inside line, not letting Akira have any room. Again, this is my tall wall of Undead. Tot, Dragon, Jackson, and Paul. Paul heading to the back of the pack, trying to work some offense there, help Zora out. But while that's happening, distraction at the front, and Akira's out in your lead jammer.
Ooh, big hit from Psych and Destroy. Recycles Zora all the way to the back of the pack as Akira now enters the pack on a scoring pass. Nice toe stop work, though, from Zora.
Yeah, I also have to give props to Zora. She used that hit from Psych and Destroy to propel herself through the pack.
Zora, though, taking some big hits for Shenanigans, Psych and Destroy, but manages to tiptoe through as Akira's already picked up 4 points. Now going for more. Calls it off before Zora is able to score for the Undead. We'll see how many points. Akira picked up 2 more points, so a 6-point jam for Akira as the Chicago's Bruise brother increased their lead 82-49. We have Smackaroni on the line for the Bruise brothers and Ohm Wrecker for the Undead. Again, nobody in the box for either team. Both jammers trying to take that outside line as Ohm Wrecker tries to follow Smackaroni up that outside line. Ooh, Dragon Body, the last. And then Hebrew.
Nice work there by Hebrew.
Smackaroni through with lead for the Bruise brothers. Honcho playing some nice offense by Mike Honcho. Gets Omrecker out of the pack as Smackaroni comes through on a scoring pass.
Mike Honcho always come in clutch for that offensive assistance.
And there you go. Smackaroni not calling it off quick enough as Hebrew had recycled Smackaroni to the back of the pack, and Omrecker slides through, picking up 3 points for the Undead to 2 points for the Bruise brothers. Oh no, Smackaroni picked up a penalty. We have a power jam start for Smalls.
Alrighty, and here comes Smalls. Oh, comes around a little bit too quickly. Picks up a slick patch on the track. Falls to the outside. Has to recycle. Again, looking for some offense. Smalls is small, but can't quite get around Jackson.
Syke doing some one-on-one work on the back was nice, but ooh. As Shenanigans went out of bounds, Smalls managed to get out. No pass, no penalty, will not have lead as Smackaroni leaves the penalty box.
Nice awareness there by Smalls, making sure that looking at the referees and making sure to see that no pass, no penalty. Doesn't want to take a chance and get a cut track.
Dragon Body Jackson setting up some nice tripod.
Oh, big hit by Shenanigans on Smalls.
Shenanigans takes a hit, but the size of Chicago may hurt them with this small jammer because they pick up high hits. Ooh. More people going to the box. Dragon Body to the box for the Undead.
It looks like we've got Honcho and Pipple to the turn.
Now Trivy goes to the box for the Bruise brothers as Small slides through for 4 points on the outside with only 2 blockers for each team. Dragon Body now. Smackaroni actually has lead, but again, maybe called it off too soon. I think Smalls managed. No, he did call off before Smalls could score any more points, but Smalls managed to pick up 4 points for the Undead.
I think she went through twice.
Chicago calling a timeout. Chicago right now holding an 85-54 lead with 16 minutes left in the second half. Oh, 19, thank you. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad. There's 19 minutes left. It's blurry. It's getting blurry out here.
This is when the announcers in the balcony need binoculars to see.
I need binoculars anyway.
Some of us are not young anymore.
It's the reason I can't play anymore. I can't see.
My knees don't like me playing roller derby anymore.
The rest of me likes it. I just can't see well enough to play at the level I want to play at. So it looks like Shaggy will be out for the Undead. Ben Hurt for the Chicago Bruise brothers. The Undead have 2 blockers, both standing in the penalty box, as Chicago has 1 blocker in the box. Everybody backed up on that jammer line, forcing a heavy start.
Ben Hurt trying to take that outside lane. Has to contend with Jackson and Dragon. Jackson shoving Ben Hurt out of bounds. But Ben Hurt stays on his feet. Breaks the pack as lead jammer for the Bruise brothers.
Jackson had picked up a forearm penalty. That's what allowed Ben Hurt to re-enter the track. 3 points for Ben Hurt and the Chicago Bruise brothers. We have Ragnarocker out there jamming for the Bruise brothers. And I believe that's Zora on the line for the Undead. The Undead with the blocker in the penalty box. Ragnarocker trying to push that Zora out front with Shenanigans.
Oh, it looks like Ragnarocker being called to the penalty box. So this is going to be a power jam for Zora.
Zora just Shenanigans and now joined by Psych. As
One little spin past Shenanigans, and Zora is your lead jammer. Looks like that was a high block there on Ragnarocker.
high block, and now Psych went to join up front and did not get the bridge.
Zora hoping to push this pack out of play, but is taken to the infield by Up and Adam. Has to recycle. Looking for some offense there from Pit Bulldozer. And then back
Nice defense from Chicago on Zora, but Ragnarocker out of the box and through the pack.
Ragnarocker using that star sash there.
Zora on her initial scoring pass. We forced to call it off after taking some big hits from Chicago. We'll see. She managed to pick up 3 points for the Undead. Those are some hard points, I'll tell you. She took some big hits from those blockers. We have Omrecker on the line for the Undead, and that's Smackaroni. I think it is.
We've got Omrecker, number 30, wearing the star. Again, up against Smackaroni.
Smackaroni.
Yep.
Just Dragon Body left, and Smackaroni picks up lead for Chicago.
Smackaroni literally just running into Dragon, pushing Dragon, and runs past to get that lead jam status.
Picks up a cut penalty on a nice play by Shenanigans. Shenanigans will get a directional hit, go off for.
Oh, and Smackaroni being called on a forearm heading to the penalty box. So this will free Omrecker. As soon as Smackaroni sits down, Omi is released. Now Smack will only have to serve the same amount of time as Omrecker.
Fortunately for Smackaroni, he only has to serve part of that penalty. Oh.
Omrecker able to do a little matrix maneuvering there around Twinkle Beef. Completes that initial pass.
2 minutes. This jam will go full 2 minutes now. As Omrecker slides through almost untouched as the Chicago Bruise brothers did not realize that Jammer was out there.
Omi coming around, using some offensive there by Tot. Literally throws Tot to the infield. You got to be the sacrificial lamb for your jammer sometimes.
Again, another Bruise brother goes to the box with a penalty as Shenanigans managed to recycle Omrecker all the way to the back. Oh.
Ooh, that looks like that might have been a high block there on Omrecker from Shenanigans. Omi's feeling that. Looks a little dazed.
Shenanigans picks up the high block after hitting Omrecker in the head.
But Omi getting his wits back up on those toes-ups and trying to push through. The jam has expired.
Omrecker managed to pick up 7 points for the Undead. As Chicago picked up 3 points. Chicago with a 91-64 lead. We have a little under 14 minutes left in this second half. We have Shaggy on the line for the Undead. And Ben Hurt for the Bruise brothers. Shaggy through with lead.
Shaggy looked at that pack, seeing the deficit of Bruise Brothers blockers, and was able to run that outside line. Now being controlled there, dips underneath Twinklebee, picks up 4 points for the Undead.
Correct body with some nice work out there on offense.
I believe that's Pit Bulldozer.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was Pit Bulldozer.
Okay,
You're right. You're absolutely right. As MPLL goes to the box, I know that's his 6th penalty. Twinklebee goes to the box for Chicago after leaving. Well, the helmet cover pass has been hurt. Passes to Grizz as Shaggy threw for 4 more points.
Shaggy trying to put on the Jets, fly back to this pack since the Undead is in complete control. Nice offensive there work by Mike Concho. Sails Shaggy around number 35. Ben hurt. Shaggy picks up 4 more points.
There's so many people in the box for Chicago, they don't have room for everybody.
I love when there's a penalty cue. And Grizz being sent to the penalty box.
Big jam for Shaggy.
Power jam for the Undead.
Ooh.
Twinklebee shutting down that apex jump. Smart move there by Shaggy. Sees that Grizz is standing. Taps those hips and calls off the jam.
Go to that penalty check because I know several going to be close to fouling out.
Oh, we got, he's out for sure. Impale L, yeah.
MPLL fouled out.
He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's on 6. So one more.
And he's on 5.
Yep, he's on 5.
There's got to be more.
Nope, that's it.
Twinklebee went to the box 4 times that last jam. And Chris has been in the box forever. You see what? Oh, he's there, 360. Yeah. All right. Okay, we have a power jam start, and the Undead are going to send out Zora.
Holy bejesus. It's a 4-point game now. I did the math right? I'm looking at our fans next to us. I'm like, getting ready to use my fingers, maybe count on some toes.
That was a great jam from Shaggy there as he cuts into the Chicago lead. Now Chicago with a slim 91-87 lead after that last jam when everybody on the track went to the penalty box several times.
That's, should now be the strategy of the Undead. Send Chicago to the penalty box. Get all those blockers off the track and just put on the nitrous oxide, spin around that track as many times as you possibly can, and get all those points. If you don't have the Chicago blockers in your way, you can score points.
And Chicago are getting the big hits, but they're not getting back together. And the big hits look beautiful, and they're effective, but they also send you to the penalty box. They're going to have to adjust to how the referees are calling this game. So Grizz is standing in the penalty box, ready to re-enter as the jammer.
Hey, a shout out here to Shags from Sammy D's. Go get him, Shags!
Undead sending out Zora on the power jam. Power jam start.
And they're teasing me. They're almost at the pivot line. Giving Zora a chance to run.
Now Grizz out of the penalty box 4. Ooh.
Nice fast feet there by Zora. Taps around. Impale L gets lead. Jammer for the Undead.
Zora with some nice toe stop work along that line. Absorb that hit from Shenanigans. Stays on the track, picking up 4 points, tying this score.
And Grizz is being sent to the penalty box. This is going to be a power jam for Zora. And the crowd goes wild.
As another power jam Zora with a power jam start, and now the Undead blocker doing the wise things, picking off Shenanigans, who's been the biggest blocker for Chicago.
It's a tie. Oh, lead change.
Zora on a third pass through now. Spins through, picks up all 4 points. 12-point jam there for Zora. As the Undead now with a 99-91 lead.
And you know what? That penalty on Grizz was the end for Grizz. Grizz has fouled out of the game. Looks like we have a star change. Grizz has left the penalty box and passed over the star to Ragnarocker.
Well, that was actually to the advantage of Chicago because Ragnarocker is a regular jammer and Grizz isn't. He's a blocker. So that actually unfortunate for Chicago to lose the blocker, but this opportunity here to get a jammer to replace him in the box is big.
Yes, and we've got 10 minutes left. 10.5 minutes left in this half. Undead finding a bit, finding their groove, finding the momentum. Again, taking full advantage when there are those penalties against Chicago and running the track.
So now the Undead with a 99-91 lead after that great jam by Zora. Looks like we have a little over 10 minutes left here in the second half. All right, good job. My eyes next to me here.
I can see too, Bill.
Smalls out here for a power jam, but Ragnarocker is standing in the penalty box.
Even better, we have really small on this tiny screen too.
Okay.
All right. Undead, like as Bill said, putting out Smalls.
Smalls taken out by Hurricane Heather. Now Ragnarok out of the box as Smalls trying to push these big Chicago blockers, and that's just not going to be the game that she needs to do. She needs to be using her speed and agility.
But I think Smalls can use to her advantage, breaking up and getting just enough of her in between them to create a multiplayer block.
And that's Impale Ale, who is now, I believe, is also fouled out of the game.
Oh!
That's shenanigans, picks up a forearm penalty.
It's so loud in here, I can't even hear Bill. Wow, that was intense. We had a face off there between Shenanigans and Impale Ill and Small's little shimmy shoulder, and then he took her out and took himself out.
They're arguing that Smalls skated off the track, avoiding the hit, and called it off. So we'll see if apparently nothing's going to come of that.
Well, nothing going to come out of there with Smalls, but that hit on Smalls was the 7th penalty for Captain Impale Ill. He has now fouled out, again to the detriment of Chicago. He's been a solid blocker and a very important key part of their defense for this game. Wow, I'm seriously going to lose my voice, and it's not even.
Thank you. There was a penalty called on Smalls for skating out of bounds and avoiding a hit.
No. That's what the official review were.
So Chicago wins that official review, sending Smalls to the penalty box for skating off the track without calling it.
But it doesn't look like it here. We're in a timeout. Looks like there's a lot of confusion going out on the track. I don't think we actually ended up having an official review. But we're going to get I think we're going to have an official review now.
Seven penalties.
Yeah, so if you're new to Derby, in the world of penalties, once you have hit your 7th penalty, you are fouled out of the game. So, yes. Yes, there's a foul out, which no one really wants, but you did your job, you're a blocker, you hit hard, you hit fast. You don't want to have an expulsion. We had some expulsions in the last game for egregious hits. So those were hits that were deemed as unsafe, could have caused potential harm. One was actually a hit on an official, one was a hit on a skater. But these are foul outs. So Chicago's had 2 foul outs now.
All right, the referees are talking about, I believe the Undead are asking for a reversal on that penalty.
We got a thumbs up from
Got a thumbs up, so after official review, there will be no penalty called on Smalls after official review. So the Undead win that official review. Looks like they'll send out Home Wrecker to jam for the Undead and Smackaroni for Chicago. Chicago with 2 blockers in the penalty box, 1 standing.
And that's a great...
Oh, that's Shaggy. I'm sorry. That wasn't
Shaggy.
Wrecker. That was Shaggy again. And Shaggy slides through with lead.
Yeah, Shaggy taking full advantage there. Oh, it had a tight wall there by Tot, Nemesis, and Jackson. Oh! Big, giant apex jump landed beautifully by Shaggy. While Smackaroni's still stuck in this pack.
Dragon Body doing some nice work on Smackaroni up front.
But Shaggy has to go one-on-one with Twinklebee. Bounces off Twinklebee. Rolls around, hits up and Adam.
Up and Adam gets a knockout, but Dragon Body does some nice work on offense.
Ooh, a big hit there by Shenanigans on Shaggy. Forces Shaggy to call it off.
Shaggy picks up 3 more points for the 7-point jam there for the Undead, increasing their lead 109 to 91. Little under 8 minutes left. Kira on the line versus Zora for the Undead. Nobody in the box for either team. Everybody backed up on that jammer line, not giving any room for either of these jammers. But finally, Zora
had a nice little screen there by number 66, Hebrew.
Kira breaks through for lead for Chicago.
Yeah, Kira saw that while everyone was concentrated on that inside lane, that outside was open, slid right past to pick up that lead jammer.
Ooh. Shenanigans with a big hit.
Nice work there by Hurricane Heather. Shenanigans takes Zora off of the track, but Hurricane Heather taps Shenanigans also to the infield and allows Zora to get back on the track without losing track position.
Shenanigans also picks up a penalty.
It looks like Akira also setting to the penalty box, so this is a power jam for Zora.
Power jam for Zora. She's already picked up 4 points. Now, using Pitbull Dozer for offense, picking up 4 more points as Zora with an 8-point jam so far. Is now
the Undead listened to me and they said, hey, let's make Chicago get all the penalties.
Yeah. Zora threw for 4 more points as the Undead now increasing their lead. Kira trying to get through these blockers for it. Finally, Kira threw, picking up 4 points for Chicago. Chicago must get back to doing their tripod defense and not playing one-on-one. Zakira hits his pack and threw for 4 points to Zakira as Zora is taken out by Psych and Destroy.
Zakira back out on the track, completed the initial pass. ready to hit a scoring position. Oh, and is able
Kira
to get
through for 4 more points.
Kira able to get under Pit Bulldozer and Hunter. Picks up 4 points, but Zora calls it off.
Zora picks up 2 more, so that is a 12-point jam for Zora and a 13-point jam for Akira. Is that what it was?
We only have the penalties here, Bill. Sorry. Again, as I said, as someone who has probably undiagnosed ADHD, I can't watch and count points at the same time.
So the Undead holding a 20-point lead here with a little over 5 minutes left in the second half of this tight battle here from Chicago and Pittsburgh. We have Ben Hurt on the line for Chicago, and now we have...
I love that camera. Roving camera action there by Nitro, going out and giving Ben Hurt a little fist bump on the track. We've got number 30, Ohm Wrecker, wearing the star for the Undead.
They're going to have to color their beards.
Again, we have a lot of skaters on the Undead who look like each other. I am going to start going around and tagging them so I can tell who they are.
Ben Hurt with a strong push. 1 blocker. Oh, nice hit there. We have Dragon Body. As Ben Hurt does a nice job of pushing Dragon Body out of play. Shenanigans, a big hit on Ohm Wrecker.
That was so close that Nemesis was able to reform and create that bridge for one last hit from Dragon, but Ben Hurt stayed in bounds.
Adam Midwest with a nice, and then Psych and Destroy recycles Ohm Wrecker to the back. Has yet to get out of this pack. Has Ben Hurt on a second scoring pass. Oh, nice. Oh.
You want to be sure and make sure that you don't want to take that unnecessary track cut. Omi paused, wasn't sure, and just went ahead and returned behind the pack. But I don't know. I feel like these last few jams have just been chaos.
Psych and Destroy and Orange Whip to the penalty box for Chicago. Now just 2 blockers.
And we have a star pass. First time tonight, I would see her today, seeing Jackson with that star. Can you tell I only announce roller derby at night? These early morning derby bouts confuse me.
Ben Hurt calls it off after taking a big hit from Dragon Body. Why is that? So Ben Hurt managed to pick up 7 points for Chicago. We have Smalls out there jamming for, and Ragnarocker with lead for Chicago. Smalls only have to deal with Shenanigan, who's been the bane of Smalls.
Oh, Smalls taking one knee underneath Shenanigans. Gets out of the pack. But again, Ragnarocker is your lead.
Ragnarocker picks up a forearm penalty.
And Smalls hits the back of the pack just as Ragnarocker goes to the penalty box. Getting some help from her teammate. And that's 4 points for the Undead.
Beautiful offense from Hurricane Heather on Shenanigans. Gets Smalls out for 4 points.
Yeah, nice work there by Hurricane Heather, providing some offense, but unfortunately being called to the penalty box.
Up and at him with a big hit on Smalls.
One last hit there by Hebrew. Ragnarocker able to make that pass. That's completing his initial pass. while Smalls still is on a scoring run.
Smalls waiting for some offensive help, but Ragnarocker slides through for 4 points for Chicago. Orange Whip did a nice job on the recycle there on Smalls after the knockout by Syke.
Orange Whip, though, trying to confuse Smalls, telling Smalls she had to come back, but no, the hit was from Alvin Adam. Alvin Adam was out of play, so she doesn't have to come back behind him.
Well, actually, Orange Whip was in front of up and Adam, so when he dropped back, he didn't get the draw back.
She went in front of him and didn't get caught on the cut, so.
Well, he went too far back. Ragnarocker managing to pick up points for Chicago, 12 points. As Smalls managed to pick up 8.
And it looks like we are going to get a team timeout here from Chicago.
The Undead holding a 131 to 124 lead over Chicago with 125 left in this second half. The Undead looking to get lead and run this clock out.
Get lead, force those penalties on Chicago, and run it to the end.
Shaggy out there jamming for the Undead. Chicago counters with Smackaroni. Nobody in the box for either team. Everybody backed up on that jammer line, not giving any room for either jammer. Both jammers hit those tripods. Try to get the push.
Nice recycling here by the Undead, rolling back up to the front of the pack, trying to stay in control of Smack.
Ooh, that's a cut penalty. Nice knockout by Dragon Body.
That was Jackson who actually did that one. Jackson hurled him forward, causing the cut. So this is a power jam for Shaggy.
Oh,
Shaggy doing a little juke and a dive. Gets through on that inside, picks up lead jammer for the Undead. Now,
the Undead with lead and lead jammer. They control this bout right now.
We've got 30 seconds left on the period clock. So Shaggy is in complete control here.
Shenanigans gets some recycle on Shaggy.
Well, Shaggy stepping out of bounds. Has to recycle. Oh, and bodies are flying. There is chaos here. The adrenaline is high at Pisa. Smackaroni out of the pack, not lead.
Shaggy picks up 4 points.
Shaggy's lead, and the clock has expired. Shaggy calls off the jam. Wow.
The unofficial score, the Undead 135, Chicago 124. Pittsburgh with a nice win under their belt there against the Chicago Bruise brothers.
What an insane comeback for the Undead to take that win.
Well, definitely penalties was a big part of that game. Chicago was unable to adjust to how the referees were calling that game, and their big hits were sending them to the penalty box, and they kept losing blocker after blocker, which started affecting, especially when you lose an Impale Ale, who was the captain of the team and one of their stronger blockers, and all that started taking its toll. And the power jams.
Absolutely. When you have your blockers go to the penalty box and then you lose your jammer, you've just let the Undead run through.
Yeah.
High fives from the balcony to the Undead. High fives to the Undead.
But let's not take away from what the Undead did. They did some really nice work. Dragon Body, Jackson, Hebrew with some nice blocking. They did some great offense for their jammers, and the jammers worked their butts off to get out of those packs. Mike Honcho played some great offense and some good defense.
Mike Honcho always coming in clutch on the offense there. So a lot of great offense by Hurricane Heather.
Oh, yeah,
let's now see. Let's get a lap from the Chicago Bruise brothers. What a hard-fought game. And again, I'm going to say this. This was game number 2. We have 4 more games today. So much excitement here in Harmer at the PISA, Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena. If you're local, get your tuchuses here. We've got lots of derby left for today. So we're going to get reset here. Our next bout is going to be, again, Lane County Concussion versus the Carolina Wrecking Balls.
Carolina with their second game of the day already, so they should be all warmed up and ready to go.
Thank you, Wrecking Bill. I will be joining you on the mic later. I believe our next announcers up are Discussions and Kitty Black.
Thank you for allowing me to help you here.
Oh, I love it. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to go do some running. I'll get some rosters, and we'll get set to go. So I think one of the things that we need to do as announcers, because it's so loud down there, if we can maybe get a little closer to each other so we can hear each other better. Once it gets loud, I can't hear anybody.
Right.
Then, so.
Right. And I couldn't hear you. There were times that I know I talked over you because I couldn't hear you.
That's what I when that happened, that's why I went like this. I was like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But like, let's try. I mean, we're all getting like, let's kind of maybe try to figure out how we can get more tuned into each other.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's going really well, and we're getting lots of great feedback on those streams. So. Okay.
Good.